Welcome to this video. Today I'm just going to talk and share a little bit about how we can move out of the feelings of sadness or depression when they take over. So if you're feeling like you're just in a bottomless pit of depression or this overcoming feeling of sadness, just know that you're not alone, that lots of people have been through it. Sometimes it's a kind of spiritual dark night of the soul thing going on, and then sometimes it just happens for no reason at all, or that we can consciously think of. So I'm just going to share a little bit about my experience of that kind of thing, and I guess my own perspective on it, having gone through these feeling states. So a few weeks ago I noticed that I was experiencing a heavier kind of energy than normal, and it's very rare for me to experience that kind of thing these days. Many years ago I did go through a lot of depression and anxiety, but what helped me was my own kind of awakening process to understanding that I'm not what I'm experiencing. So sometimes we can experience depression or sadness when there's part of ourselves that are kind of dissolving. So this is more common these days, where many of us are awakening and releasing a lot of the old programming, the old conditioning that we grew up with. And sometimes that feels like a kind of inner death. And sometimes it brings up these feelings of sadness or heaviness. But just know that you're actually doing really well when you're experiencing these things, because they're part of the layers of conditioning that have to kind of come up again in order to be seen consciously. So the way to see them consciously is to allow unconditional experiencing of the states of being without judgment, and with love, if we can kind of bring love to what we're experiencing. So because in this world of duality there is heightened states of well-being and pleasure, and then sometimes there's suffering or pain. And the thing is that we can go between the two. It's like conscious awakening is about the ability to embrace all of it, to embrace the duality, but also to recognize that you're not what you're experiencing. You're not what you're experiencing. You are that which is able to perceive what you're experiencing. So the human body is capable of all sorts of phenomena. It's capable of all sorts of sensations and feelings. And one of the things that really sort of helped me many years ago was just that recognition of I'm not what I'm experiencing. And as soon as I realized that, it was like all those kind of energies kind of dropped away out of the system, and I was able to experience a more present moment awareness of just being with here and now, with what is. And more joy seemed to come from that state of being, just allowing and loving. So so just know that you're not what you're experiencing. You are that which is beyond all experience, all phenomena. You are consciousness itself. That is the witness. And if you can step back and detach from what's actually going on in the moment, because you can experience a heavy sensation in the morning, and by the evening it can be completely changed, because we're always shifting through these different states of being throughout our day. And in the next video I'm going to share a lot of practical tips that may help you to incrementally shift out of these heavier states of being. But I just wanted to share in the first video, this one, more of the kind of psychological conscious perspectives that can help detach and help loosen the grip of the mind, because what happens is when we're feeling these emotional states, the mind often grabs onto it and starts to think all sorts of things that feeds the emotion even more. And so then the emotions become bigger and bigger, and then before you know it, you're down a hole. So the more that we can detach on a psychological level from what we're experiencing sensationally or phenomenally, then we're not going to feed that mentally. And so it can't exist. It's like if you don't give it energy, if you don't feed it, you don't give it the food, because emotion loves thought. Emotion loves thinking that's negative. And the thing is, when you feel these negative emotions or heavy emotions, the mind has the tendency to think negatively. So the thing is to allow the feelings or the sensations that are going on in the body independently of thought. So we don't have to add fuel to the emotion. So that's just one way that we can start to detach or loosen the grip of the mind, the ego that wants to, give it this poor me, my life's this, that, and that. And so it tends to judge what we're experiencing. So we want to kind of like allow the sensation to be there without adding the thoughts that are going to perpetuate the emotion even deeper, and without adding that fuel for thought, basically, food for thought, without adding that to the emotion, you find that eventually it just subsides because you're not feeding it. And so you can appreciate that it's just a phenomena arising in the body. It's a sensation. And that was one of the biggest turning points for me many years ago, was just recognizing that, wait a minute, this anxiety and all that stuff that's gone on here, it's just a phenomena. It's like sensation, just like, 2 days later you can be experiencing all this love and well-being. So it's like it's phenomena. And the thing is that when we don't attach, negatively to what we would class as negative or unwanted feeling states, if we don't judge it, we allow it to be and pass through us. So we can just allow it to pass through, to be released and to let go. And in that process, you're being the alchemist. You're kind of transmuting the energy through love, because love is really what heals at the end of the day. So love yourself when you're experiencing these emotions. Just see if you can embrace them like a baby. It's just allow it. Just love and appreciate that you can experience these things. You're human and you're experiencing these things, and just to allow and appreciate that they're arising, and that they will also collapse as well. So I hope that's helpful, and in the next video I'm going to share practical tips as well, things that you can actually do, steps that you can take to incrementally shift out of these heavier, darker kind of energies. So thank you for watching. Namaste.